Chief here, and I have another thought. Today, I want to talk about name recognition. Excuse me. Um, and how, and not necessarily in politics. I think we're all aware of how it works in politics, and it works with everything. But I want to specifically talk about like on YouTube and social media, um, and in actually the mainstream media as well. All media for the most part, but some media just do it to varying degrees to create their content, especially in this 24-hour content-driven world, where the news has just come on at 11 or 10 o'clock at night. So you have some terrible shit to sleep on. Oh man, now it's 24 hours, so they must create content, and they know what draws most people's attention is what. Mm. Chief here, and I have another thought. Today, I was thinking about name recognition, and not when it comes to politics. I think we all understand how that works. How the politicians' name that you see the most around your neighborhood, especially if they're with the party that you align with, whose ideas or ideals that you supposedly align with, or platform that you align with, you're most likely going to vote for that candidate. So that's why the most money is important. So you can run TV commercials, or you can, get a team to canvass neighborhoods and, post posters and knock on doors and do all the things to get your name out there. And that also work like the people in the art world. People do the same thing, not to that degree necessarily, but they try to get, name recognition. That's why they play certain artists all over the time. Like if you can get a song on the radio and they play it enough times, people eventually like it for the most part. Especially if it, is, they have the formula for pop music. I don't know. I don't want to talk about that. But, they get the name recognition, and then people are most likely to go buy those albums or listen to those songs, or even how all these artists, people become a household name essentially. But the media and YouTube, what is I guess, alternative media, for lack of a better term. Even though YouTube, a lot of YouTubers are putting out way better information and being way more thoughtful, and actually, makes the mainstream media look just absolutely just incompetent, and, filled with just lazy bums, only looking to get clicks and not to be informative, or to inform, or give some deeper understanding into an event, because they have to change the narrative all the time. They have so many articles that they have to write, and they all write about the same shit using the name recognition, that the artist garnered or the entertainer garnered to give some supposed insight into a larger societal narrative. Typically the evils of society, and why we need some sort of absolution for some other organizations that are trying to just basically gain name recognition. That's why a lot of these, especially with the Me Too movement and, Black Lives Matter and a lot of this stuff, they make sure that they pound you over the head with, language. That's why a lot of people are using the same 10 words, like problematic and toxic and shit. Or, names like George Floyd and all these signifiers for a greater societal narrative, supposedly. And not saying they're not apt, but, that's why they're using certain people instead of shining a greater light on the problems, in the world, especially sexual degeneracy, and how a lot of populations are dealing with that. Not necessarily rape, which is the most despicable crime besides murder. that someone can commit, in my estimation. Thievery is up there too. That's really shitty, but it's not. Of course, it's not anything to people who are doing bodily harm and being, holding people against their will, which is, you know, it's just, I don't want to even think about it. But that's happening across a lot of populations, way more than people want to think or even think about, because they're pushing a narrative. And then the celebrity or the person with the name recognition perfectly enforces their narrative, despite a greater society that's dealing with issues that all need to be dealt with. And I think that all starts with us having some societal mores, but the media is pushing the societal mores, which is just some chaotic mess, jumbled mess of that's supposed to lead to equality or something, while they're the ones, just destroying people's lives based upon who they may be, in private after building them up. It's quite despicable, actually, and we're actually the ones who make it worse because we actually care. That's why a lot of these people, that's why they get so many clicks, and that's why they do it so much. If we ignore a lot of the shit the media does, just exactly like people want to do, they want to not. Well, I don't know if that's true nowadays. Everybody wants to be oppressed and angered and some sort of, rebel rouser for a cause, because they're getting a lot of name recognition for doing so, because they're typically placating to people's feelings and to very simple thought processes regarding society. But, I just think that's despicable. And on YouTube, people do it the same way. That's how a lot of people build their channels up, is by, speaking about someone else and putting their name in the title, and that person has a lot of viewers. Or speaking about it, again, like an athlete or entertainer or an event, just to get your content so people can get your varying perspective. And I'm not saying I'm not doing that, because I am, especially, I'm not really talking about a lot of different shit. I'm talking about a lot of different shit that I don't know if there is there is actually a narrative thread, I believe. But I'm doing the same thing, but I think that the one thing I'm trying to avoid is name recognition and fall into that way that I have to garner or speak a certain way or think about this person in, some simple dichotomy of their lives, and who they are, when humans are all complex, and, the way we are being, judged and not judging ourselves is, the story of Narcissus easily. You're staring at yourself in the mirror, and all you're looking at is your reflection and not who you are, in your spirit and in your soul and in your behavior. Are you just accepting, all your passions, and are you just accepting and just placating to your wants instead of the needs of yourself? That's why so many people are depressed and think that nowadays, because we're looking outside of ourselves for validation and to connect ourselves to someone greater than us or who may be more successful, which typically means we perceive that they have more money than us and can live a freer lifestyle. Oftentimes they're imprisoned by who they are and their public persona, which is another issue for another day. But I just want to relay that it's just difficult for me to understand. I don't know. I understand why people do it. I just don't want to do it. For example, the video that has the most views, not that many that I've created, is the one where I mentioned Naomi Osaka's name in the title. I don't really want to go that route where I'm mentioning people's names and titles, and then that has to draw people to my content. But maybe you have to draw the flies, to your shit, in the manner you can, and then maybe the message, that you're trying to, or the narrative that you're placing on the event, people may enjoy that perspective. It's all over the place. I don't know how to feel this. I've been thinking about this, and because I want my name recognized, that's why I wrote it. That's not even why I wrote the book, and that's not why I continue my art. But, name recognition would be nice. The money would be nice. I'm just working it all out, because I know I'm very hypocritical, and that's why I'm working this out on camera, because I am improving my life, and I think this is my mirror to who I am on the inside, and I'm just trying to be honest with myself about that. But anyway, that's my thought of the day. Company on YouTube. Thank you so much.